It's a great day on Phantastical Careers with Kelli Bertinelli. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, and this episode we are diving into the exciting world of lycanthropic biology. Our guest is Howie Dunn. Howie, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Kelly. I really appreciate it. I mean, it's really an honor to be on the show. It really is.
You know, I interview people of all types, but secretly scientists are in a special category because your work, or y'all's work, y'all's work,
Yeah, y'all's work
is
that,
so
you said it right.
vital to our communities. And for those from different galaxies, I just want to take this opportunity to inform the listeners that werewolves are an integral part of our ecosystem on planet Earth. So Howie, how did you get involved in this science?
Now, Kelly, this might surprise you, but I grew up in a town deep in the South. I know it surprises a lot of people, but I grew up deep in the South. It was a sleepy little place tucked away in the backwoods, just like any other town could be, I guess. Only difference was we were always surrounded by lots and lots of werewolves. Cute little buggers they were, except for the ones too tall to even stand up straight on our front porch. Those are the cute big buggers. That's what we'd call them. They get into our trash sometimes, wake up the chickens every now and then, but even if they was mischievous, there was nothing like falling asleep with your window open at night to the sound of crickets and werewolf howls on a warm summer evening. You know, I still haven't figured it out, but some people were scared of them for some reason, but not me and my daddy. In fact, he liked them so much, I'd often see him sitting out front during every full moon after the rest of us had all gone to bed, his eyes wide open all night so as not to fall asleep and miss them singing to each other. He always had a shotgun too, but I never figured out why. Anywho, one of those mornings, I went out to look for him afterwards, and he weren't there. When he hadn't come back after a few days, that's when I had a revolution. How do you say it? Revelation. That's it. I had a revelation. You know, my daddy liked them werewolves so much, he up and went to go find out more about them himself. That's when I had another revelation. We really don't know much about werewolves. What they do, what they like to eat, where they go when it's not a full moon, what, makes a werewolf, Kelly. Shucks, we know more about why Northerners drank their tea without sugar. Well, okay, maybe that's a stretch, but that's when I decided to become a lycanthropic biologist.
Oh, it is a mouthful. Judging from all the letters after your name, you obviously went to higher education, and forgive me if I'm talking totally out of turn.
Yep.
But most students balk at the amount of time it takes to get a science degree, and that's just the normal ones like marine biology or cryptozoology. So, did you have to go to school for several years, or what was that? What was your higher education experience like for you?
Well, it wasn't all that hard. It didn't take me too long neither. First, I tried one of them big universities, big bunch of fancy buildings and just professors everywhere, that kind of thing. You ever been to one of those kind of places? They're just huge. They're crazy.
I
Oh,
have.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about then. But they just looked at me at that place like I was crazy. Can you believe that? They didn't offer a single lycanthropic degree. Can you believe it? After that, I found a community college nearby, but they only offered that course online, so that's what I did. They might have misspelled their school name on the diploma they emailed to me, but that's all right. Because after that, I knew everything I needed to be a top-notch scientist.
Let's pretend I'm a lycanthropic biologist. What would I do in a normal day on the job?
Oh, all sorts of things. I'll tell you, it's the best job I ever had. Time in the great outdoors, doing important work I can be proud of. Been at it for a few years now, and I've already learned a bunch. But mostly how hard it is to find those buggers in the first place.
Didn't you say there were a lot of them around your house on the front porch and such growing up?
Well, yeah, but that's only one night a month during the full moon. So far, I only ever seen just one in person. There I was. I finally tracked one down and got him with a silver tip tranquilizing dart because those work the best. Those are the best darts. He was snoring away as I got some measurements from him and that kind of thing, when suddenly he woke up with a jump and gave me a little love bite on the hand. Little bugger ran away with one of my fingers that day.
Oh.
I ain't never seen another one after that, but I know they're still out there. No, don't worry. I still got 9 more. I got 9 more.
All right then. It sounds like if someone was interested in pursuing this as a career choice, they'd have to be comfortable with potentially dangerous situations. So back to your story, was anyone with you that day, like a research team, or do you usually tackle hazardous work alone?
Well, over the years, I've had a couple assistants help me out. They say they seen some werewolves, though I never did on the nights we went out. But the first assistant got all nervous and babbly after our first full moon night out, and they switched careers. I'm still pondering on that one to this day. The other one, the other assistant, well, that one must have left to study the werewolves like my daddy did, 'cause I never did see him again after the first night we went out. It's hard work for sure, and it ain't for everyone, but it's worthwhile to make sure these beautiful critters stick around. And one day I'm gonna catch another one. Just you wait and see.
Your passion for these werewolves or humans, animal humans, werewolves really stands out because I don't know anyone who isn't in the field who would describe a werewolf with those adjectives. You said you want to catch another one. Once you do you release them once they turn back into a human, or do you study their human form as well?
Say what now?
When they turn back into humans, what do you do then?
Oh, you're talking about that old wives' tale. That's just a story to keep little kids from wandering off at night. They ain't any more human than crawdads are cuddly.
Uh-huh. Do you have any plans for the future?
Well, keep doing what I'm doing. And I hope some of your listeners want to give it a go themselves now, too. In fact, I'm going out with a new assistant tonight. I can tell it's going to be a full moon since I can hardly sit still. I can hardly wait.
Your enthusiasm is contagious. That's how I feel about being an intergalactic journalist. There's new places to go, remarkable beings to meet, astonishing cultures to explore, and it's ultimately what we all aim for in a job. The invigorating thrill of waking up and feeling a tingle up your spine as you realize you're living the dream.
You're exactly right, Kelly. You hit the nail on the head. That's exactly it. I get that same tingle in my spine every time I'm about to go roaming around the woods at night.
This whole conversation reminds me of the importance of doing your own research. If a career sounds interesting, the best thing to do is really talk to someone who's been in those shoes. And Howie is a great example of that, because here I thought he would have been sitting in a lab, but instead he's been out in the field doing the hard work of tracking down werewolves and losing fingers. I appreciate you spending time with us today, Howie.
It's been my absolute pleasure, Kelly. You mentioned talking to other people in the field that you want to work in, and I just want to say, if any of your readers want to reach out to me, come be one of my assistants out in the field and see what this job's really like hands on, I mean, you got my number. Just pass that right along, and I'll
Oh,
be happy to take anybody out because not many people know about this line of work. So I'm happy to share, and I hope some of your readers will they're going to try wandering off into the woods
well,
next full moon for themselves.
it is wonderful that you are so encouraging and willing to help upcoming lycanthropic biologists. But I do feel duty bound, as the producers are giving me a little wave, that perhaps before adventuring out into the woods alone during a full moon, it might be wise to, first of all, take someone with you. Probably minors shouldn't even attempt it without adult supervision, and adults should probably also be supervised. And the elderly definitely, I would not suggest that they begin this particular career, even though anyone can change careers at any time. This is not, you never know. You might be deathly allergic to werewolf fur. I'll see you next time on Phantastical Careers with Kelli Bertinelli.